Money Octagon presents the Filmography Disquisition Series, The Thespian Inquisitions, Volume 3, Kristen Bell, An Exhaustive Examination.
Hello, Vanessa.
Hello, Tobin. And hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode in Volume 3 of the Film Disquisition Podcast. In this volume, we are examining, in chronological order, the filmography of Kristen Bell as we try to determine, through a vigorous scientific and academic method, the best Kristen Bell movie of all time. In this episode, we will be discussing, critically analyzing, and ranking the 2009 animated adventure Astro Boy, starring Kristen Bell as Cora.
Vanessa, I fell asleep during this movie.
Tobin,
and I had to take 5 days to convince myself to watch the end of the movie again.
I didn't fall asleep, but I was on my phone the whole time while you were sleeping.
Wow. Bad note-taking.
Tobin, this movie was boring.
Yeah, which is weird to say for an animated film. Because,
we were excited.
Animated movies should not be boring. They can be, bad or, whatever, but, they shouldn't be boring. They're supposed to hold the attention of children.
Couldn't even hold the attention of an adult.
We should have watched this with a child to get a more accurate review.
No, the kid would have been on their handheld device as well. If anyone has a child that we can watch animated film... No. This sounds weird. Never mind.
Give us your child.
Give us your child.
It's for a podcast.
Obviously.
Did you know anything about Astro Boy before this?
Heck no.
I was I am aware it is a Japanese comic cartoon character. I am not familiar with any of the lore of Astro Boy or anything. I couldn't name any characters outside of Astro Boy. I couldn't tell you if Cora is a character from previous works. I assume Dr. Tenma and a couple other characters are from the original, but I knew nothing about this. And I still know nothing about it.
We're going to get into it, but why don't you read my recap before we start talking more about this?
Astro Boy. Cora is a secret Metro City girl who resides on Earth, scavenging and refurbishing robots. Earth, which has been turned into a junkyard by all the rich people who live in the clouds, is where she meets Astro Boy, a misfit Metro City dropout. He fits right in with Cora and her band of dirty scavengers and helps them rebuild a giant robot named Zog. However, Hamegg, the leader of the orphans, reveals Astro Boy to be a robot, and Cora is betrayed. However, after the final battle against the Peacekeeper, Cora and Astro Boy are able to hug it out. Yeah, that's mostly what happens.
And if our listeners feel like there was a jump between her feeling betrayed and then them hugging it out, it's because Cora wasn't really sent. It's not a romance plot, which is fine, but it's not even barely a friendship plot.
Yeah.
Except for the one night they spend building a robot together named Zog.
Zog. Played by Samuel L. Jackson.
Of course.
He has 4 lines of dialogue, I believe.
Can we talk about how there's bad acting in this movie? Somehow, in animated film, there's bad acting?
Right. Normally... animated films, that's your time to let loose and really ham it up, that sort of thing. Have some fun. Nick Cage is cast as Astro Boy's dad, Dr. Tenma, and he just sounds like he read the script for the first time into a microphone, and that was it.
It was actually bad, laughable somehow. Yeah. And I was like, how isn't this?
Didn't this man win an Academy Award? Isn't he being praised for being a truffle hunter? Pig owner somehow now.
He won an Academy Award?
Yes. Nick Cage?
Yeah, for what?
It was Raising Arizona or something?
Oh, okay. Yes. Did he? I don't know. That movie's good.
He's been in good movies. He's still in good movies.
Anyway.
Side note, I want to see Pig.
I haven't even heard of it.
Well, I just described it 30 seconds ago.
It's the first time I'm hearing about it. Tobin, what did you think of this film?
Yeah. I thought this movie was just kind of dull and uninteresting, and outside of some robot designs, just kind of not visually stimulating.
It was really flat looking, right?
Yeah, and this 2009.
So we knew how to make good animated movies by then.
Yeah, I mean, Toy Story came out in 1999, right?
Yeah, no, we knew.
We figured it out since then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I realize we're spoiled. with Pixar and stuff like that. But
And this was like a small company out of China?
I believe so, yeah.
Imagery or something?
Yeah.
Imagery?
So yeah, maybe it was like a smaller budget. But yeah, for like a future city design, like nothing really looked super appealing or interesting or anything. Like there was some fun beginning animation that was like a hand-drawn animation talking about like how like the Cloud City came to be or whatever. And that was like narrated by Charlize Theron, and it was like, oh yeah, well, the world's bad now and here's what happened.
Right.
But then it's all 3D animation after that, and it's all just kind of like, yeah, it feels kind of flat and sterile and not like alive, which, I mean, I realize that takes a lot of resources to animate like stuff like that. And it's something we kind of can take for granted now because there are so many examples of really good animation where it's like, oh, this feels like a fully fleshed out world. And this is like, yeah, nothing in this movie really felt alive. Or
Right.
anything like that, which is kind of a bummer.
I'd love to read your notes.
There they go.
Wow. Add it onto the junkyard heap. Okay. I hope Nick Cage got creative input on his character design.
Oh yeah, Nick Cage is playing scientist Dr. Tenma, who creates Astro Boy after his child dies in an explosion.
It's like vaporized in an explosion.
Yeah, pretty rough stuff for an animated film. But you don't really feel that emotional loss because Nick Cage is not trying in this movie.
Yeah, he's just like reading the page. Oh no, my son.
Yes. But his character design, he's like a scientist-looking man with a lab coat and stuff, has a goatee and like kind of like pompadour hairstyle, and then just looks very tired.
Do you think it kind of looked like Nick Cage?
And like a giant nose.
I think it kind of looked like him.
Kind of, yeah. But it was just like a very weird look.
Yeah.
But so I hope he got to like demand that his character have a goatee.
I wonder if actors do have input on what their animated characters look like.
I'm sure it depends on the situation, case to case.
Okay, next note. I feel like K-Bell and Nathan Lane are the only ones bringing the right energy to this. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Kristen Bell just kind of naturally sounds like a cartoon character.
She does. I felt like she was not as cartoony in this as she could have been.
Yeah.
Like it took me a minute to even recognize it as her.
And then Nathan Lane, of course, notoriously
theatrical
from Lion King, and has that theater background, and he's playing Hamig. Yeah, who is like this weird carny guy who houses orphans but also hosts robot fights,
like gladiator style fights where all the children watch
robot fights, which is all fun and games until you realize that.
Well, he was like a spurned scientist from Metro City.
Yeah, Metro City. Yeah, that's right. Called it Cloud City earlier, which it basically is.
Yeah, Cloud City. Whatever. Something. Who cares? Environment robot designs aren't bad, but humans don't look good or interesting. No, they look flat.
Right. Yeah, like I thought some of the robots were kind of fun and had like that kind of Art Deco-ish design style to them.
Yeah, so I thought it was like that Big Giant robot movie.
The Iron Giant. Yeah. Yeah, some of the robot designs in this, like the old scrapped junkyard robots, kind of have that design, but that's about the only interesting looking characters. Like none of the people look super interesting. Astro Boy just looks kind of bland. The actual like full on human characters don't really stand out. Yeah, it's just not an interesting look or design to anything.
No,
I mean I think it is hard to make humans look interesting in animation sometimes, like 3D animation, but.
Yeah, okay, I would agree with that. But still, like, the coloring could have been different. It was all very monochromatic, which, okay, it's supposed to, like, they're robots, but I don't know. It just didn't have any soul. Probably should have just skipped the origin story and gone straight to the alien invasion. Yeah, so tell me about the alien invasion that happens.
It's just like the tease for the future adventures of Astro Boy. Yeah, so like Donald Sutherland is playing the president of Metro City, the mayor. Is it
someone who's up for re-election?
Is it just like all the survivors of Earth moved to Metro City? So like
all the rich people.
Yeah. Oh, prescient, I guess. But yeah, so he wants to, I don't know, steal Dr. Tenma's science projects to something to win re-election. Anyways, he turns.
There's a red core and a blue core.
Astro Boy is powered by the blue core. The red core is bad and powers bad robots.
by the peacekeepers.
Yeah. And then President Donald Sutherland puts a red core into a robot and turns it bad, and then it absorbs him, and he turns into a giant robot that sounds like Donald Sutherland, and starts just smashing Metro City and attacking Astro Boy and his friends, and yada yada yada. There's a big fight, and then the bad robot explodes. Donald Sutherland's character survives somehow, and is arrested for terrorism or whatever. And then at the end, there's like, "You did it, Astro Boy. You're a hero, and I love you. You're my son, even though you died.
You're a real boy.
You're a real boy now." Oh no, an alien squid monster has emerged from space and is attacking Earth.
The last scene of the movie is just Astro Boy punching it immediately right in the face.
Right. And
then he's like, his dad or his maker is like, "Are you sure you're ready for this, Astro Boy?" And he's like, "I was made ready." Because, he wasn't born.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Aliens are more fun than robots in certain scenarios, I feel like. This movie made robots kind of boring at times.
It was so boring.
Yeah.
Even when they try to be cutesy about it, like, robots run every single part of society. Like, even the window washers are just like a little Windex bottle and a little squeegee that happen to be robots.
Mm-hmm.
And they're supposed to be like the funny sidekick.
Yeah.
There's even like a robot revolutionary faction.
Yeah. It's 3 robots, one of whom is a fridge.
Yeah, the RRF.
Yeah.
But they're bound by like the law of robots, so they can't actually uprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going to tickle.
It's like there's a...
They were going to tickle someone.
Yeah, it's like it's a metaphor for something, but blah, blah, blah. So tired and tedious.
At least Eugene Levy played a robot butler in this. That was kind of fun.
It is. So this cast is kind of insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlize Theron is narrating it, and Elle Fanning is somehow in this. And Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
The good Fanning.
Okay. Movies like this make you appreciate good animated films. So I will just come out and say I don't watch a ton of children's films, as I call them, because I'm not cool. Like, I know it's like...
But you watch Pixar movies and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely. But I won't go out of my way to see them. Usually it's like a group thing, and then I'm always like, "Oh, that was really good," or "Oh, that was really cute."
Yeah, I guess the last one we watched was the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, that was recommended to us.
But what was the one before that?
I don't know.
God only knows.
Frozen 2.
Oh, that was in theaters, and I cried really hard. See, I'm a big softie.
But yeah, there's just a lot of work and world building that goes into good animation and craft. And this movie's competently made, but it just doesn't pop. And we've had so many years of really good animated films, hand-drawn and CGI.
Oh, absolutely. Every Miyazaki film is my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's easy to forget. It's oh yeah, sometimes they just kind of throw stuff on screen and I don't know, it's animated. Kids will like it. I think that might have been all my notes.
I think it is. What is that word? You'll have to edit it out.
What? Boring?
Okay. Is it grieving? For a movie that kills a kid, it's kind of boring and low stakes. Yeah. And yeah. The only thing that's left of this kid after he's vaporized is his red hat, which I understand in 2009 they didn't know the meaning of red hats in the future. But the kid was kind of intense and hoity-toity anyway, and son of a rich kid. And he wore a red hat all the time. And I was just oh, okay. Just putting my personal politics
what are you trying
onto
to say?
Fashion. No, I'm not going to get us into trouble.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Yeah, but yeah, Astro Boy is the robot version of this doctor's son who died in an explosion. And they don't really show anything. It's still a kid's movie. But starting off the movie pretty that's the first 10 or 20 minutes, I think. Probably 20 minutes of this movie. The kid dies. But after that, I wasn't worried. It just felt really low stakes afterwards.
Oh, yeah, because we're well, and the father realizes right away, oh, shoot, what have I done? He's nothing like my
I shouldn't have made a robot version of my son.
Well, yeah, and he was oh, you're nothing like my son.
Yeah.
At all, because his son was interested in all the things he was interested in, and then this creation is interested in other things.
Right.
Is more I'd say maybe a little bit more creative and less by the books because he doesn't want to read any of the books.
Right. He wants to fly and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who wouldn't? So that's it for your notes.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to say about this movie.
Yeah, I wish it was more interesting.
Yeah.
Which there was music numbers.
I was kind of thinking like if I had known what it was going to be, we should have probably just made it like the bonus episode because it doesn't even feel like Kristen Bell was in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
her presence isn't like really on screen. Like I have a feeling it's going to be really on screen for Frozen.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like Cora's like arguably like the 5th lead or something, maybe. But like her character.
That's being generous because it doesn't really feel like this movie is being led by anyone.
Right, but her character is very much like, teaching a robot how to be like a kid and stuff. But not a lot to do. Vanessa, you ready to hear some trivia or goofs about Astro Boy?
I am.
Great. Trivia. This film was not a success in Japan.
Where was it a success? It makes it sound like it was a success somewhere.
It opened pretty strongly in China at the time, but did not have good legs for it, so kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't do super well here. I think it only made like $60 or something million worldwide, which is pretty for like an animated film. That's like not great.
Right. That means kids weren't going to see it.
Yeah.
It's really funny because I just like don't know what kids were into in 2009. Because like, what were you into in 2009?
I don't know.
I was really into Star Trek and Chris Pine.
Oh, yeah.
So Astro Boy was not on my radar. I was also really into Doctor Who.
You weren't into reimaginings of 1960s cartoons?
No, I was like deep into a Doctor Who, Supernatural, and like reboot Star Trek thing.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first Star Trek reboot, and the third one was okay. Second one was bad. I was into all kinds of stuff. Probably watching Heroes still. Was that still on?
In 2009? I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, let's see. As Astro Boy is under construction, the blueprint plan, briefly seen, is like a drawing from the original cartoon. Callback. Easter egg reference. Samuel L. Jackson only speaks 11 words in this movie.
Yeah, you called it 4 lines.
Yeah.
I wonder what he got paid.
I don't know. But yeah, Zog was a cool looking robot. At one point, Brad Bird was considering directing. Brad Bird of Iron Giant fame.
Yeah.
And a Mission Impossible movie and The Incredibles.
He knows what he's doing.
Let's see. Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics are referenced a few times throughout the film. They are first mentioned when the RFF are introduced. RRF, rather. Robot Revolutionary Front or whatever. The laws, paraphrased, are a robot may not harm a human being or through inaction allow a human to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given it by a human being as long as it does not conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not interfere with the first or second law. This film takes place in the year 2108.
Right around the corner. Yeah, I'm sure by then Earth will be a giant heaping pile of scrap metal.
The character of Astro Boy first appeared in print as a manga in 1952. It was adapted into a television series in the 1960s, and then updated in 1980 and 2003.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson was originally cast in the role of Cora.
Wonder why she left.
They're like, no, we got to get Kristen Bell.
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Get out of here, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever said that to Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry, but we're really dying for Kristen Bell.
Yikes.
Because they're not on they're on different, they do different things.
Yeah. Different.
That's not shade at K-Bell.
They're playing different sports. Different specialties.
I would say they both have all that Disney money, but
yeah, Scarlett Johansson's going to get some more, maybe.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know.
Astro Boy is called by his title name only by Ham Egg and only twice throughout the movie. Otherwise, he's called Astro, Toby, Robot Boy, or Boy Robot. I guess I didn't notice that.
I didn't either.
I didn't like that he was called Toby.
Is it too close to your name?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Has anyone ever tried to call you Toby?
I mean, if like people like mishear or whatever.
Okay.
My name. Yeah.
But no one's like tried to like shorten your name to Toby.
No. Nope.
Okay.
Tobe? No. Doesn't really work.
I've heard people call you T.
Mm-hmm.
Any other good trivia for us?
Oh, there's a Wilhelm scream in this movie. So,
really?
When the Peacekeeper is chasing Astro after hitting him with a building. There's Will Holmes.
Dang, I missed it. It's just so part of like a movie. It's hard to hear.
Let's see. This is Nathan Lane's 4th theatrically released animated film. Lion King, Titan A.E., and Teacher's Pet. Let's see. Alan Tudyk appears in this movie. He's also appeared in Ice Age and Ice Age: The Meltdown. A lot of animated film actors in this. Samuel L. Jackson appeared in other animated films, The Incredibles and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Kristen Bell and Alan Tudyk would also later appear in Frozen and Zootopia. Eugene Levy's 3rd theatrically released animated film after Curious George and Over the Hedge. I forgot they made an Over the Hedge movie based on the comic strip with like the little like raccoon and turtle.
There's a squirrel in it too.
Probably.
I have maybe seen an Over the Hedge. Aren't there 3 of them?
No, I think they just did one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they did some like direct-to-video ones. I don't know. Oh, Bill Nighy's in this. It's his 2nd animated film. He was also in Flushed Away.
Never heard of it.
I think it's about rats, sewer rats.
Oh, that'll be about goldfish.
Oh yeah, Bill Nighy's the other scientist in this.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like Ziggy, a little cartoon character with the big nose.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Donald Sutherland's 2nd animated film, the first of which was Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Oh.
Knows how to choose them. Okay. That's all the interesting trivia. Goofs for an animated film? That's not fun. No, I don't care about goofs. There aren't any good ones.
Okay. Tobin.
You ready to rank this film?
I am ready to rank it.
Okay. Our current rankings of the best Kristen Bell movies. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Reefer Madness the Movie Musical, Fanboys, Gracie's Choice, Couples Retreat, 50 Pills, Spartan, Serious Moonlight, Roman, Pulse, and Deepwater. Where on this list do you think we should place Astro Boy?
Under Pulse, above Deepwater.
Easy. Okay.
Just because we have to have like an OG like stay at the bottom. And that's Deepwater.
Yeah. I mean,
like she wasn't in Deepwater.
She's not in Deepwater. All she's got going in that movie is her southern accent. Yeah, at least in Pulse she like does stuff.
Right. Like she's
trying
it's different because like, I don't know. I guess we're going to see with her other animated films coming up, but I didn't feel like I was watching a movie that Kristen Bell was in.
Right.
I felt like I was watching like an animated film.
Yeah. Like anybody could have voiced that character.
Easily.
It wasn't
iconic.
It wasn't infused with personality.
It wasn't like Meg Ryan and John Cusack and Anastasia, which is like, I think some of their best performances.
Hot take. Okay.
Email me at filmdisc@gmail.com if you want to talk about the movie Anastasia.
And who doesn't? Who wouldn't? Vanessa, read our new rankings.
All right. Number 1, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Reefer Madness, the movie musical, Fanboys, Gracie's Choice, Couples Retreat, 50 Pills, Spartan, Serious Moonlight, Roman, Pulse, Astro Boy, and Deepwater.
Wow. That's a rough list so far.
Yeah, it's not great. In fact, I just took a pause because I was trying to remember what the movie Serious Moonlight was even about. I recalled it, don't worry, but it's a bad list. It's like got a couple winners.
I mean, like the top 4 are good. We don't even have a solid top 5 yet.
We don't.
Because Couples Retreat is somehow still in the top 5, which is not great. Anyways, we got an email about Couples Retreat.
Oh, sweet.
Email us, filmdisc@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, reactions to previous episodes, anything. filmdisc@gmail.com. It can be about previous volumes as well. Blake Lively, Kristen Stewart movies that you finally got around to watching. filmdisc@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts. This one comes to us from Jordan. Hello, Tobin and Vanessa. I was anticipating your discussion of Couples Retreat since your announcement of K-Bell as your subject for Volume 3. At the time of the film's release, I was working at a movie theater, and unfortunately have seen large portions of it many times from having to check auditoriums. As you talked about the opening credits using stock footage, that was the first sign to me that this would be an incredibly lazy film that would rely entirely on the strength of its cast to carry it. I haven't watched it in at least 10 years, but every part of it came back listening to your episode about it. My issue with the film is that while it's supposed to be a comedy, I could barely detect any jokes in it at all. There's definitely setups for jokes to take place, and then they just don't happen, and nearly every scene goes on for far too long. The therapy scenes are also completely devoid of humor and have a tone to them that feels disconnected from the rest. For instance, Ken Jeong playing one of the therapists who's normally very funny, but he was given hardly anything to do and felt completely wasted. I was just as confused as to what Vince Vaughn or any of the characters really does for a living. I gathered it was something to do with video games because he mentioned some important release of one he's working on, but no idea if he's in development sales or something else. I guess it was a throwaway detail to help justify the Guitar Hero battle that takes place and nothing else. The film is about relationship issues, but doesn't actually offer any real solutions to them. I did not for 1 second believe that these people were real couples, and this being a film about marriage and relationships, that lack of chemistry defeated the message of the film. I guess on the positive side, the scenery looked nice. A.R. Rahman's score was good, and I guess the actors had a good time at Bora Bora. Unfortunately, they were spending all that time making this film. Just some thoughts. Looking forward to the next ones. Best, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan.
Jordan, that's awesome.
Good email. I never worked in a movie theater. I always kind of like wish I had, but like also that might have ruined the magic of movies for me.
I thought about that in high school because I was at the theater like twice a week.
Yeah.
Because I think I've mentioned it before, got super killer deals with like this old school movie member thing that AMC used to do.
Yeah.
And I would be like, oh, I think it'd be like the best to work in movies at a movie theater. Nope. And even like 15-year-old Vanessa was like, I don't think I'd like that.
I do think it's really funny now seeing because we both have the same reaction to the advertisements, like at our local theater where they're like trying to hire people, and it's like, you want to work in movies? And you're like, this isn't working in movies. Like, no disrespect to anyone who works at a movie theater, but that's not what the job is. You're not in showbiz.
Right. And I thought about it again in Chicago when I was living there, and I was having like a midlife crisis, and I thought I was going to transfer colleges and like do something with, I don't know, in a different degree. Why are you laughing? Is it because it took me 15 years to finish college?
I just feel like the way that sentence was going, you were saying about like, going to do something with my life.
No, I was like,
as you realize that you're recording a moderately entertaining podcast with your husband in Alaska, and you're like, I was going to do something.
I was going to be someone. No, I thought I was going to transfer colleges. Sorry, I'm bad at finishing sentences apparently, and I was like, maybe I'll do something in writing, or that'd be really cool to work in the movies. And we had a huge movie theater, like huge movie theaters in Chicago. And I was like, no, this is still not working in movies. I'm not going to do this.
It's not what this is.
And I just crawled back to the bookstore that I always worked at year after year.
So you worked in literature.
Worked in literature. Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, thank you for that amazingly awesome email.
Sorry you had to watch that movie multiple times, I guess.
I do love the image of you just kind of hearing the podcast and being bombarded with memories of this movie as you worked. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to watch this movie so many times. So.
And thank you for the email. Again, email us, filmdisc@gmail.com, for any variety of reasons related to this podcast.
I want to hear from people about the movie Camp X-Ray. No one has talked to me about Camp X-Ray or Blake Lively.
In years.
Yeah, it's been years, guys. Tobin, where can people find us on the internet besides our email?
Well, you can find us on social media. I'm on Twitter at pursuedbyabeard. Vanessa's at @the_Virago. And that's also her handle on Instagram and TikTok.
And Twitter.
And that's the first one I said.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. You never listen to me. It's all right.
Sorry.
And I'm also on Instagram, but
that's not like where your content is.
No, that's not where my hashtag content is. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see me post a bunch about movies and dogs. And then I have a Letterboxd account where I document all the movies I watch. Letterboxd with no third e.com/tshelby47. I keep updated lists for all the film disc rankings, and then I make some other lists and just keep a catalog, a diary, if you will, of a bunch of other movies. I'm journaling about movies.
That's pretty cool.
I saw Chinatown for the first time. That was the thing.
Finally, you stayed
Pretty good.
awake?
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't stay awake. I had to rewatch it twice.
Oh my gosh. So was it good?
It's a good movie. I was just watching it like 11 p.m.
And we're old.
I'm old.
We got jobs.
Anyways, that's our podcast. Sorry, Astro Boy was boring. Remember sometimes in the past when we'd watch like a bad movie, but like drank a gallon of wine, and so the podcast was fun? And now we're just like old, so it's like...
Well,
I had a beer watching Astro Boy and fell asleep.
Okay. We would probably drink more, but we've been recording on weeknights, and you work Monday through Friday.
Got to get back on track.
Yeah, we got to get back
to our weekend binge drinking and podcasting.
Just drink a whole bottle of wine. Tobin, what's our next movie?
Oh, boy. So you're sure you don't want to play through the entire Assassin's Creed video game series? I mean, she gets killed off in, like, the third one.
Absolutely not.
Because of contract.
I understand
She wanted royalties for a video game. Is voice acting for a video game even a job when she just do it for fun? Anyways, they killed her character off because of that. Yikes. She should sue them.
Oh my gosh. Tobin?
Somehow not the worst thing Ubisoft has done.
If I played this video game, it would take us longer than Volume 2 to get through it because I'm a slow video gamer.
You didn't even know about run buttons.
That is not true. I forgot about run buttons because it had been so long since I last played.
Our next movie.
Guys, I walked through Mass Effect 2. I strolled. Took my time. What's our next movie?
When in Rome. Walk about and look at the aliens. Our next movie is When in Rome, 2010 romantic comedy. Beth is a young, ambitious New Yorker who is completely unlucky in love. However, on a whirlwind trip to Rome, she impulsively steals some coins from a reputed fountain of love and is then aggressively pursued by a band of suitors.
This is a bad movie. I've seen it.
Can't wait. Never seen it. At least it's got like a classic romantic comedy like movie poster for it.
Isn't that
being cute?
But isn't that like the face and like the mannerism that you hate?
Yeah.
Why? Because it does things to you?
No, it's just like generic. Like that's like definitely like the 50th photo of like an all-day photo shoot, and they're like, all right, we're just like for the poster.
Dead eyes biting her pinky cutesy like.
Yeah. Is this the movie her and Dax Shepard met on?
I think so. He's in it.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay. Kristen Bell, Josh Duhamel, Angelica Houston.
Gosh, do you remember when
Danny
Josh
DeVito.
Duhamel was like the hottest?
No, he was in a Transformers movie.
Which is where I first saw him.
Yikes. Angelica Houston, Danny DeVito, Will Arnett, John Hader, Dax Shepard.
Is John Hader related to Bill?
No, he's Napoleon Dynamite. Heater.
Oh,
H-E-E.
got
Sorry.
it.
I mispronounced it. That was my bad. It's got like a pretty decent cast.
Yeah.
Christian Shaw, Bobby Moynihan, Lee Pace.
Mr. Eyebrows.
How is there... Like, because clearly because of the billing, Kristen Bell ends up with Josh Duhamel. How are you going to put Kristen Bell and Lee Pace in a movie and not have them, like, make out or something? He's probably, like, the bad boyfriend who breaks up with her at the beginning because he's got, like, that face where he could, like... Lee Pace is...
He does have that face.
Where it's, like, he can, like, be charming and smooth or just be a sleazeball.
Do you mean all of season 1 of...
Halt and Catch Fire? Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Halt and Catch Fire. Don't watch When in Rome. We'll watch it for you and report back to you on the next episode of the Film Disquisition Podcast. Until then, my name's Tobin.
And I'm Vanessa. And this was a terrible idea for a podcast.